Welcome back to Newswatch at 5:30. I have to say I'm pretty happy right about now aboard a private jet. Yes, and this could actually be a position that you might be in. We are with Stan Kuliavas, who's with Air Sprint, and we're going to be talking about the private jets that are going to be here in the Kingston area and how you could be flying on them all over North America, and giving you some information about how you can have fractional ownership in this jet and also another one as well. Welcome to the show, Stan.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit, first and foremost, what you're doing here in the Kingston area.
So Air Sprint brought 2 aircraft to Kingston to show off our fractional ownership concept to the Kingston business community, because we think we can really add some value to Kingston businesses.
Is this a market that you say is, I guess, underperforming when it comes to actually having these planes in the area? Is this something that we really need and are ready for here in the Kingston area?
You know, I think at a certain level it's something that many businesses can benefit from, and Kingston's unique in the sense where it's pretty geographically set in the middle of Montreal and Toronto, and there is no private aviation service out of Kingston. So Kingston businesses are stuck usually chartering from Toronto or Montreal, which is not necessarily a great option, and Air Sprint actually provides a service that's of greater benefit.
How is it different from chartering?
A couple reasons. One of the main reasons is something that is called positioning charges or deadhead charges. So that's a charge where when an aircraft flies empty to pick up a client, or when after a client is dropped off, the aircraft then positions potentially back to its home base. Those are deadhead flights where a client isn't actually on the aircraft. A charter company will charge you for those flights, for those legs of those trips. Okay. They may offer you at a reduced rate regardless. You're still paying for those trips. Air Sprint fractional ownership, our fractional owners aren't charged for those legs. You are only charged for occupied hours, so really only when you're benefiting from the use of the aircraft. Talk
about who would be using this plane when it comes to fractional ownership. Obviously people with money, but
sure.
You know, why would they want this? Why is it something they'd want to take advantage of?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough question to answer who our typical clients are. You could probably split them into 2 buckets. On the personal side, if a family chooses to travel in this way, it's a lifestyle decision they've made. And on the business side, it's usually medium to large size corporations, ones that recognize that their business just doesn't revolve around an airline schedule, and they can't be handcuffed to the schedules of an Air Canada, let's say. They need to get into destinations maybe that airlines can't get into, and they need to travel efficiently, 3 meetings in a day, and be back home for dinner.
Let's talk about the aircrafts. Start with the one that we're not in right now, and then we'll move to this one.
The one that we're not in is it's called the Pilatus PC-12. It's a Swiss-built executive turboprop that seats 6 or 7. Air Sprint has a fleet. In our fleet, we have 15 Pilatus PC-12s. It's an aircraft that's been in design since in service, I should say, since the mid-90s, and has absolutely revolutionized the turboprop market. The inside of it is larger than most small jets are, has a fully enclosed flushing lavatory, something that other aircraft in this category do not, and financially it's one of the most efficient aircraft that you can operate. So we have 15 of those, and then coming to the aircraft that we're in here, it's a Cessna Citation XLS. You know, when you think of Cessna, you think of small 2-seat, 4-seat aircraft. Propeller aircraft. The Citation line is Cessna's line of business jets. This is a Citation XLS. It's their #1 performing model, best selling. And Air Sprint has a fleet. In our fleet we have 8 XLSs, and we're the largest commercial operator of the XLS and the Pilatus PC-12 in Canada.
That's pretty impressive to see, of course. Now, this is something that a lot of people are saying, hey, I could travel like this. This is quite the way to travel.
Sure.
In fact, you traveled from Toronto to Kingston today in this plane. How long did it take you?
It took me 24 minutes.
24 minutes. That's unbelievable. From Toronto to Kingston.
Beats 2.5 hours on the 401.
It certainly does, without a doubt. Now, here's the catch. These don't come cheap. What are the prices that people are looking at, though? If they don't, I mean, they come cheap, I guess, in the whole realm of things, but how much are people looking at if they're looking at fractional ownership?
You know, and I guess cheap is relative or expensive is relative. Yeah. The aircraft that we're in right now, a Citation XLS, it's a $12 million airplane. As a fractional owner, you can buy in for as little as $800,000 and own a piece of that aircraft, 6.25%. So, you know, for a business, if you, instead of paying $12 million for an asset, if you can You can buy one for 6.25% of one for $800,000. That makes a lot of business sense. Now, additionally, there's a monthly management fee, which is your portion of hangar rent, insurance, pilot salaries, anything that you'd pay when you owned your own airplane, but just for the portion that you actually do. And then an hourly rate or an occupied hourly when you're flying. So that all in comes to about $3,400 Canadian per occupied hour on the Citation XLS. And likewise, the buy-in on the ownership for a 1/16 or 6.25% interest on the Pilatus is $290,000. And the monthly management fee and the hourly fee all in, that works out to about $1,200 Canadian per hour.
Okay. So it's something that obviously will work out. I mean, you're talking about 6 passengers and something like that. And if you're going to use it enough, I mean, $1,200 Canadian per hour, that's not a bad deal.
Well, exactly. Anytime that you can put more than one person into an aircraft, and a lot of our owners say anytime that they can put 2 people in, depending on the trip, that's where it makes a lot of sense for them, even on just a pure cost comparison basis. That's not taking into account your efficiency of travel, your time savings. That's just on a dollar basis. But yeah.
So how's it going to work? Are these planes going to be here in the Kingston area, or are you going to fly them in when they're needed?
Well, they're here today to show the business community, and we've had some great response from the community because they do realize the benefits of fractional ownership. How our model works is that it's a funny answer when people ask me where the airplane's based. I say wherever you need them to be, because somebody in Kingston at 3 in the morning can call our 24-hour dispatch or email, and believe me, people do at 3 in the morning, and say, I need an aircraft for 9 a.m. to go to a business meeting in New York, to go to a business meeting in Montreal, wherever it may be. That airplane shows up for you. So wherever it's coming from or whatever it is before you call, you don't care. You don't care where that airplane is staying overnight. All you care about is that you are guaranteed to have an aircraft when you need it.
And usually what's the turnaround from when you do call to the aircraft actually being there? About how long is that?
We guarantee it within 8 hours.
Okay.
If we can do it faster, we'll do it faster for you.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. If people want more information about AirSprint, where can they get it and how can they contact you?
We've got a great new website we just renewed, www.airsprint.com. There's a lot of information there, some contact information. My email's there as well, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Any deals for TV hosts?
Absolutely. I've got a nice white one for you.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that raise, that's for sure. Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate your time, Stan.
Thanks very much.
Well, there you go. If it's something that is for you, you can get more information at airsprint.com and get the details on how you can take advantage of having your own private jet at fractional ownership. That's it for us here on Newswatch at 5:30. Up next, Newswatch at 6. Have yourself a great night. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow.